Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Reedsy Live, our long-awaited Q&A with our founders, Emmanuel and Matt. Let's bring them both on. So I'm just going to send them in here. Matt and Emmanuel, welcome.
Thanks, Martin, for the introduction.
Of course. Matt, where are you today?
I'm currently in St. Ives, which is southwest England, in Cornwall.
That's very nice. And Emmanuel?
I'm in New Orleans with another Reedsy co-founder, Ricardo. So yeah, we came here for a little conference. So we've been here for a few days. So if there's anyone from New Orleans here want to grab coffee afterwards, just let us know.
Yeah, open offer. These guys would literally pay for any coffee you want. So guys, I'm going to throw it over to you. If you just want to sort of do it off, I'm sort of just going to hide myself a bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, so we're 57 right now. Maybe we can see, how many more people join before we get started. So cool to have everyone here. 62, boom, going up. Nice. So yeah, so like this is very different from what we usually do. We usually like bring on like one of our professionals to basically tell you about the process of publishing a book. This time we're going to try to tell you more about Reedsy, which is a company that we co-founded. So we're 4 co-founders at Reedsy, so only 2 of us are here today. But it's a company that we co-founded roughly 4 years ago. And yeah, we're gonna give you some background about everything. So yeah, cool. 64, should I get started or should I wait a bit more?
64.
Yeah.
I found Emmanuel. You can't obsess about the numbers.
I'm not obsessed with the numbers.
We have 64.
Cool. Okay, well, we'll get started then. Cool. So before we talk about discovery, maybe some of you, recently joined because you signed up to our newsletter or you signed up to take a Reedsy learning course. So you might not know what Reedsy is or what our main product, the Reedsy marketplace, is. So I'll just give you some general background about the company. So we started roughly in 2014. We basically saw that self-publishing was growing and that it was creating like new opportunities for authors, and we understood very early on that, it would change the entire value chain and the way people publish their book, basically. So Amazon made the whole process of self-publishing a book a lot simpler when they released Amazon KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, in 2009. But still, when we started to look into building Reedsy, most of the self-published books that were available on the Kindle store were not that great. So our idea was that there's a new business model, there's more creative freedom for authors. How do we help them create high-quality professional books that have a chance to compete on the marketplace? So that's how we started. So we slowly built a community of vetted professionals, editors, designers, marketers, to help authors throughout their publishing journey. So we've been doing that for 4 years. And as we developed, we've helped bring to market roughly 10,000 books. So we're quite proud of it. And, if anyone's used our services here, we'd love to hear your feedback, anything we could improve. But yeah, we have now kind of a proven business model ourselves, and we've helped a lot of authors create beautiful books. So now we're launching that new product, Reedsy Discovery. We sent a newsletter about 2 weeks ago about it. And yeah, we're going to be telling you more about what it is.
Yeah, so Discovery is obviously our new product. But the sort of question becomes, why are we making it and sort of why now? So as Emmanuel mentioned, we've helped bring over 10,000 books to market. We can help you make a cover that can sell your book, but you're still kind of faced with the problem of getting your book in front of readers in the first place. So yeah, since we started the marketplace, we've had thousands of authors come to us asking for help with marketing. And we think there should be another solution outside of you becoming sort of a part-time expert Facebook advertiser or a web developer to manage your website, or even a wizard at managing your mailing list so you can connect with your fans. Your passion is writing, and we think that Discovery can help you focus on doing just that. So yeah, the basic idea with Discovery is that we want to help you find your audience. So once you submit your book to Discovery, it gets entered into our review pool. And if your book piques the interest of one of our reviewers, they'll write a review that will accompany your book when it goes live on our feed. Each week, we will promote the latest releases on this feed and invite readers to vote for their favorite books. The best titles are then sent out in our newsletter to a targeted list of readers in your genre. So it should be a really great way to give your book the kickstart it needs when it launches on bookstores. We found that other review services were pretty expensive, and that promotion sites tend to focus on price promotion rather than the kind of quality of the books that they're recommending. So we think there's a gap here, and for $50 on Discovery, you can get an editorial review that you can use to market your book on any of the other platforms that you're selling it on, along with a professional sort of author website. And you'll get exposure to readers in your genre via our newsletters that are sent out each week. But the sort of overall ambition of Discovery is to create sort of a social community of book lovers. And we want to give you new ways to connect with your fans. So it's quite a...
So if you're wondering why, book reviews matter, you probably already know that, and maybe it's all straightforward for you, but there's kind of two types of reviews that you can get. There's, on the one hand, product reviews, which are the ones that you will see on Amazon, people giving you 1 to 5 stars and writing a short comment about your book. So, that's the kind of reviews you get for any kind of product on Amazon or any other retailer, really. We keep talking about Amazon, but it can be Kobo, Apple, etc. And those are kind of necessary for people to just, realize that it's a serious product. So there's kind of a psychological threshold when people see that you have 10 to 15 reviews, they start to think, okay, this is something that has some kind of that has had some kind of validation, basically. And it's some of the, and you need that to be accepted by most book promotion sites that Matt referred to earlier. The second type of reviews is, what you usually get when you work with a publicist. It's basically reviews you can get on blogs and other media sites. And those reviews are crucial because they're basically marketing material that you can use as, as a blurb, basically, for your site, for online retailers, and potentially for ads if you're going to be running ads. So the Reedsy Discovery community, it's all professional reviewers. And we're getting close to 200 reviewers on Reedsy Discovery now. And they specialize in certain genres, so they can only pick 3 genres on Discovery right now. So we know that it's people who have a real deep understanding of your market, and as a result, will be able to review your book and provide relevant reviews.
Yeah, something interesting about them as well is we've only accepted 20% of the applications we've had, which is a similar strategy to what we've done on the marketplace, where we're really focusing on getting people who know what they're talking about. And they're in a good position to provide you with feedback and with readers what your book is about.
Yeah, and so they've been vetted, as Matt mentioned. So it's people who will read over 100 books a year, be very knowledgeable about market, and often they will have an existing audience themselves, which means that they might be able to repost that review that you got on Discovery onto either their own site or Goodreads or Amazon, etc. So that's the value that you would get out of a professional editorial review, basically, which is what you'll get on Discovery. There's other ways of getting reviews. Just wanted to mention some of them while we're here. So we have a blog post that's pretty good, that lists a number of book review sites. If you, maybe Martin can drop the link in the comments. But yeah, we've put quite a lot of content for you guys to learn about, how to get reviews and also how to contact reviewers. A term that you might be familiar with or not, that you'll come across quite often, it's ARCs, Advanced Review Copies. So basically, Reedsy Discovery is a tool that was designed for pre-publication marketing, which means that you're sending an advanced review copy of your book before it's actually released for reviewers to review. And that's basically what you'll have to send other reviewers if you try to, other avenues to get reviews, basically. So yeah, and if you need to create an ARC, as part of the whole Reedsy ecosystem, we also have the Reedsy Book Editor, You can find it on Reedsy. I think Martin can drop a link in the comments again. But that's a tool that allows you to export an EPUB file or a PDF file that you can use to send to reviewers, and that you can also use for distribution afterwards on the Kindle store, the Apple iBook store, etc. So that's what you'll need in any case to submit to our reviewers on Discovery. You'll need those files. So if you don't have them yet, you can go create them. So maybe we can give you a quick tour of what Discovery looks like if you're looking to submit. Feel free to drop questions in the comments. I'm seeing that some people are already doing it. But yeah, Matt is going to give us a quick tour of or Matt or Martin, I'm not sure. We'll give you a quick tour of the product now.
Yeah, guys, watch out. We're going for the quad box now. There's 4 boxes on screen, but I'm just going to solo my screen here. Go ahead, Matt.
So Martin's going to be the hand, and I'll be the voice. So so this is Reedsy Discovery. So this is our homepage where we will be featuring the sort of best content that comes through the platform. So as you'll see, like, these are the recently discovered titles. These are the books that we will eventually be featuring in our newsletters that go to readers. So if we just quickly skip to, we'll show you the process of submitting your book, and we'll give you a quick sort of behind the scenes look at what reviewers see. So lucky you guys. But yeah, so the process to submit your book is quite straightforward. So we basically ask for a bunch of information that we and the reviewers need in order to, pick up your book and write a review. So your synopsis is super important in providing readers and initially reviewers with the context of what your book is about. The idea is to hook them in so that they can, pick up your book from the review pool and get started with the review. So yeah, once you've filled out this form, which has a bunch of information on, and has here the opportunity to upload your manuscript, as Emmanuel mentioned. So this is your advanced review copy. This is what reviewers will have access to if they pick up your book for review. It's only the reviewer who has access to your book, who picks it up for review, that has access to your book. It's not sort of like publicly available as is your entire manuscript. The only thing anyone will see is your sample chapter, which we'll get to on the next stage. So Martin's going to drop a bunch of stuff and complete this form. Nice.
Yeah, I wrote it. It's called Don Quixote. I think it's pretty good.
Nice.
I'll pick a genre for it. Let's say it's magical realism because it's about a crazy old man. You pick a word count because I think when it comes for time for reviewers to pick it or readers to see it, they want to know what they're getting into. This being Don Quixote, I'm pretty sure it's over 300,000 words. And then you can also tell us whether this is a self-published or whether this is with an indie publisher. Currently, we're not sort of accepting any titles that have been put out by traditional publishers. We're looking to keep this platform something special for indie authors. If you're writing a book that's a part of a series, like book 2 of your Don Quixote trilogy, tell us which number it is so people are aware that something goes before. And when it finally gets onto the platform, people will know that this is, a part of a series. So they'll know what to expect. Or if they do like the look of it, they can go back and buy book number 1 from whichever your chosen retailer is. And then we ask you whether it's been designed and edited by a Reedsy professional. How come? Why did we put this bit here?
It was more for us, just because it's been, the marketplace has been really cool place to prepare your book for publishing, but we've never really had any visibility on what goes on after that. So this is more for us to see the cool books that have come through the platform, and you get a little badge that goes on the book when it's on its landing page, just to give a little bit of a shout out to the cool people that helped you get it ready for publication.
Cool. Laurie just asked a question. So synopsis is more like a book jacket blurb. Yeah, precisely. For this purpose, like, you're looking to grab people's attention, whether it's a reviewer or a reader. And so it's best to sort of treat it as like, the back of a book, something to really draw people in. Good question there. And then the explicit content bit, I know we probably will cover this a little bit later. There has been a bit of confusion with that, but I think we'll get to that in the questions. And then the publication and discovery launch date. Guys, what do you recommend putting for these two?
Yeah, so the publication date, at the minute we are accepting sort of books that have been recently published, but in the near future, the idea is that, Discovery, as Emmanuel mentioned, will be a pre-publication tool. So the idea is that a few months or weeks before you publish, you submit your book, the ARC copy, to our pool, where reviewers will have time to write this awesome professional editorial review of your book. And then the launch date is the day that you end up on our feed, on our page. So the idea is that on your launch day, so most people are going to try and align their launch date with their publication date so that you can get a real boost when your book first launches. So yeah, this is the date that you ideally should be trying to align with your publication date. But yeah, this is the date that basically your book goes onto the feed, where readers can start upvoting and discovering your title on the platform.
Yeah, in terms of timeline, Discovery has been very successful since we launched 2 weeks ago. So right now you will have to wait about 5 weeks before you can actually launch your book on Discovery. So we'll be adapting that in the future as we have more reviewers and depending on the number of submissions we get. But right now it's about 5 weeks, which gives you plenty of time to properly plan the launch of your book.
Cool. And then just to sort of skip past, if everything looks good, it goes on to the first chapter there.
That's right. So this is the sort of preview that you can give the reviewer before they decide to read your book, and also when your book launches, it's the preview that readers can read on your landing page. So this is important as well. So readers and reviewers can get a flavor of your writing before they pick up your book to review out of the pool. So that's it.
Yeah, so it's got a bunch of formatting tools similar to what we have on the Reedsy book editor. So it's worth putting a little bit of time into this to make sure actually it pops. Like if people get all the way to your synopsis and they find that it's just been poorly formatted, then that could be a mistake there.
We've had a few people ask if it has to be sort of their first chapter, and ideally, yes. I mean, if you have a prologue, definitely include that, and then if you want to add your chapter sort of after that, that's fine. But you don't want to be adding something that's the middle of your book. That's just going to throw any reader or reviewer off or give them too much information. You want to make them get to that themselves. So yeah, the first start of your book is what we're looking for here.
Yeah, in general, something that could be read in isolation.
Exactly.
So, cool. I think before I
actually submit, Martin.
Oh, there we are.
That's it. So yeah, there's not too much more to this process now. So every user on Discovery gets a profile. So as an author, you'll get a beautiful author profile that we hope could sort of sit alongside your existing website or even replace it in the future. And it'll be a way to sort of promote or showcase your existing work and also any titles that you're launching on Discovery. Yeah. So yeah, let's hit on to the dashboard now.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'd like to give you a sense of what reviewers see when you submit your book. So that will be that's a special page that authors and readers don't have access to, but since we're here, we thought we'd give you a sneak peek at it, basically.
Cool. So I've hit on to my reviewer's dashboard. So I'm a reviewer signed up with Reedsy. I've dedicated a couple of hours tonight to look for a book to read and review. And so the idea is you look down here and we have this pool of books, as Matt mentioned, that will be presented to you. Based on what I've signed up for, I should be getting only titles within a certain genre. However, I can sort of further refine this into, let's say I only want to see, cozy mysteries or literary fiction or middle grade. I can click into that. Depending on how much time or however I'm inclined, I could choose a book of a certain length. You can sort of pick by whether it's self-published or traditionally published, or standalone, whether it's in a series, or if you're not interested in anything with explicit content, you could basically tailor your personal feed here as a reviewer.
Yeah, so this is, as Martin said, this is where your book goes after you've submitted. So as you can see, your cover and synopsis are super important in making sure that a reviewer, you grab their attention. So yeah, reviewers can click on one of these titles, Martin, and then they can click read book. So they get basic information about your book that they can judge whether it's something they want to go on to read. And then they get access to your landing page where they see your synopsis, they can look about your profile and read the sample chapter. So this is basically like all the information they need to sort of decide whether they want to, take the leap and read your entire book and then go on to write a review for you. So yeah, if Martin did click this button, the book would then be taken out of the pool, and only Martin would then be able to have access to the full copy. But he shouldn't press review, and then then he would have until the book launch date to review that book and publish the review to the author. So yeah, once your reviewer has written your review, it gets sent to you sort of privately first, so you can read it before it goes live on Discovery, yeah, it only gets published on your launch date, which is the date that it goes onto the feed. But you can use this landing page before you launch to promote the publication of your book. But yeah, that's
So something I just want to mention here. So as you can see, your cover is your first marketing tool here. And that will be the same when you publish on Amazon, Apple, etc. So really do make sure that you have a professional cover or professional looking book cover when you submit to Discovery, because that's the first thing people see before anything else. And that will have a huge impact on whether people decide to pick up your book or not. As you can see in the dashboard, we have a lot of pending submissions already. So yeah, so if you understand that, make sure you have a beautiful cover.
Cool. Yeah, Christine asks, so only releases one copy at a time. Yeah, so there's you upload your version there. As soon as a reviewer decides to take it on and review it, it's no longer available to anyone. So it's entirely limited. So you don't get too many copies floating out at once.
That's it. So you only get one review with Discovery, one editorial review. That's the important distinction. So the review that you should get is something that like a magazine would publish about your book. It's not just a four-line comment that might be an Amazon review. It's something that should go into a bit more detail, be a bit more professional, and something that you can use to market your book on other platforms as well. In the future, we're going to be releasing sort of commenting, so readers will be able to comment on your book, and this might, in the end, provide you with extra reviews that you can use. But the main thing you're getting is this editorial review, and feel that yes, you only get one review.
Cool. And like so let's see what happens when you get a very good review.
Cool. So yeah, if you hit the Discover tab, Martin, we'll go through that one. So yeah, so once your launch date arrives, you will be added to our feed here, which is, at the minute, it's organized by week. So these are the best books that have been sort of reviewed this week, and they're now available for and will be promoted to readers for voting. So we will be getting readers to come to this page as much as possible, but you can also leverage your existing sort of audience. So if you have friends, you should ask them to come and upvote your book. And yeah, this is the main way that you'll gain exposure on Discovery. So the idea is that the best books from each week will be sent to really targeted email newsletters to readers at the end of the week. So if you're publishing your romance novel and you make it to the top of the feed for that week, you will very likely be included in a newsletter that goes out to all of our romance readers at the end of the week. And we think that like this is going to be super crucial at giving your book a really good kickstart when it launches, when it's published on bookstores. Because you'll be getting early traction on sales. You might even get the reviewer can repost his review or her review to your Amazon page, and any readers that discover your book in the first 2 weeks, we'll post reviews on your bookstore as well. So we see it as an easy way to sort of start climbing the rankings early on in the first couple of weeks after you publish your book, which is quite crucial period in time on the bookstores. So more about this feed. So as you can see, there's different genre feeds. So the all genres is sort of like the money maker. It's where everyone is sort of bundled in together. But in the future, we will be promoting the sort of individual feeds a bit more. So you could make it to the top of the fantasy list or the middle grade list. And these are all cool accomplishments in itself. Readers might even be able to personalize and pick the sort of genres they want to see in their feed. So don't worry about if you're not at the top of the all genres page. The readers will probably get a customized experience in the future where they get their own sort of curated content. So yeah, if you want to get lots of upvotes, that's basically the idea there. So yeah, I think we've discussed most things. So
yeah, so discovery is kind of a mix of like human curation, like reviewers take a look at books and they can decide to write a review about them. And that gives us an early indicator that the book is good or not. And the second indicator for us is whether the reader community upvotes and comments. We don't have comments yet, but they're coming. Upvotes or comments the books that are published on the discovery feed. And then at the end of the week, our team just gathers and says, okay, this book and that book will make it to the weekly newsletter that is sent out to tens of thousands of readers. So that's an extra promotion that you can get if you get a good review first, and then also if our community of readers enjoys what they're seeing, basically.
I guess we could maybe talk a bit about our plans for the future, like what we see Discovery going into. So right now, one of the crucial things that Discovery is missing is some of the more social features. So the idea is that as your book is launched on Discovery and readers find it, they could follow you as an author. So every time you then in the future go on to publish a book or want to send a message with free downloadable content, you'd be able to post a message to your sort of followers on Discovery. And we see it as a cool way of building sort of a community around your books and be a great new way to sort of engage with your fans. So these are all the sort of things we'll be working on, like in the future, coming up soon, so that you can sort of replace the sort of idea of having to have a mailing list. We think that it would be better if you could have all your fans on Discovery and engage with them in a manner that's a bit more controlled.
Cool. Yeah. So it looks like we have a lot of questions to answer. Martin just posted our Reedsy Discovery launch guide. So if you join Reedsy Discovery, you will receive it via email, and we just dropped the link in the comments. But essentially, it's a guide that we put together that goes through the entire process of publishing a book until the moment when it's ready for discovery. So do take a look at it. We talk about editing, design, marketing. The whole plan is in there basically, and there's a suggested timeline as well, just to prepare your book for launch.
Cool.
Yeah,
let's get to a few questions. I'm going to dig back and pull out some of the questions that were asked a bit earlier. There were a few things. No, my camera is all wrong. Doesn't matter, guys. Sorry, you won't be able to see me for the rest of this thing. I'm going to pull a question that someone asked there. Give me a second. Oh, no. Okay. Yes, William Oppenheimer. So, is my book guaranteed to get an editorial review on Reedsy Discovery if I submit it?
So it's guaranteed to be promoted to our community of reviewers. So if you submit your book, then on the same day, all the reviewers we have in our database that are interested in your genre will be notified about it. Does that mean you're guaranteed to get a review? No, but we'll do our best to have enough reviewers, so most books do get a review.
Cool. Payne asks, if we sign up for Discovery, are we prohibited from submitting to other reviewers independently from Discovery?
No, you're not.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty short.
As many as you can.
Yeah, like the more you can do in time for your launch, the better. Paula asks, how long do books stay on the website after launch?
I mean, your book stays there permanently. It will be sort of, as more and more books come through, you may sort of go down the page and go on to the next page and on to the next page. But one of the sort of features we're thinking about is having these sort of genre pages, which sort of showcase the best books in each genre. And you're much more likely to stay on these pages for a lot longer. So these will make up sort of our home pages. And on these home pages, yeah, we'll be featuring different books from different genres that will be sort of in the future ranking for sort of search terms like the best horror books of 2019. So when people are on Google searching for the best horror books of 2019, your book is likely to sort of resurface in these lists that we're going to be creating. So although the sort of exposure will drop off as time goes on, because the idea is that we're promoting you when you first launch, you will resurface in different points of the platform, at different times, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So essentially, it's a bit like a news website. Like, you're at the top when, your review was just published and your book was just discovered, basically. But then as more books appear on the site, you will just go down in the feed. And as Matt mentioned, we'll have a few lists that might promote you even more if people come across some of our blog posts or our genre pages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but your books will always remain sort of on your author profiles. So if you market your author profile as your publishing home, all your books will be available there for your fans to see and your fans to read.
Yeah. So talking about illustrations, I don't think you can insert an illustration right now, but we're working on basically adding support for illustrated books. So right now the first chapter is just text. You can format it in different ways, but just text. And we're currently working on adding support for illustrated books, basically. Next question. Martin is picking the questions for us. Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify something because so Discovery has been designed for indie authors and indie publishers. So if you're publishing with a small indie press, then that's definitely fine. You can still use Discovery. What's really of interest for us is to give exposure to titles that would normally, be ignored by large traditional media. So that's kind of our objective and our philosophy. So if you publish with any indie press, that's still fine. That's definitely fine.
Yeah, I think word limit or character limit, but we tried to keep it short. I think it's 400 characters.
Yeah, it's probably 400 characters.
400 words or something. Short. The idea is like.
Okay. No, you're right. Yeah, that must be words. Yeah, characters.
We want to keep it short so that it doesn't bog down your landing page. We want people to sort of have a nice experience when they're browsing your page in a super long synopsis. Like if you can't convince someone quickly about your book, you're not going to be doing yourself a favor on the reviewer's dashboard or even to readers. Like they want to know what your book's about quite quickly. So that's okay.
Next question.
The tension builds.
What's going to be the next question? So, okay, I'm just seeing one here. Do you have to be a blogger to be a reviewer? So obviously, we're also accepting applications to review books on Discovery. So you'll see from the homepage that you can apply to be a reviewer. And do you have to be a blogger? Not necessarily, but you need to be able to show us that you can write quality reviews. So ideally, you have a Goodreads account or your own website or something to show that you've already written reviews in the past and that they're good quality editorial reviews, basically. So no, but it's preferable, basically.
Oh, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
There's no you don't get more exposure if you went through Reedsy. You just get a little badge on your landing page, on your book's public page. We don't do anything like that. We're not changing anything. We're accepting all books, and yeah, it's been edited. That's absolutely fine. That's great. Yeah, explicit content. Exactly. Yeah, they're definitely eligible. We have features to sort of hide those content if people don't want to see it, but there's definitely reviewers in the pool and readers in our list that are interested in that. They want to discover that content.
Yeah. So this is covered by our terms of use. So if you just go through our terms of use, you'll see that you submit your book just for one reviewer to pick up and then review, and obviously it doesn't go anywhere else afterwards. It's our job to, well, it's covered legally, and it's also our job to vet reviewers to make sure that we're not letting anyone just get access to your book, basically.
Yeah,
Sorry guys, I stayed for a while. I'm back now though.
That's good. No, let's keep on this question. So in our terms of use, you'll see that your book is only, the full copy of your book is only allowed to the reviewer who picks it up for review, and they're only allowed to use it the duration of time that they need to provide you with the service, which is giving you your review, and after that, no one else has access to it. So.
Cool. Emily asks, can we use the review on our own book website afterwards?
Definitely.
Yeah, and something that might happen, occasionally, is that the reviewer will also repost the review that they just wrote for Discovery onto their own website or onto their Goodreads account, which can be additional promotion, basically.
Cool. Really good question here from Larry. Can you change your synopsis or first chapter after submitting it?
Technically.
It's an option. You can go into your submission and edit the book, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Because I suspect that it will be something quite useful to have, because you will be alerted when a reviewer picks up your book for review. And I guess it's something to note that if it's been on there for a few days and nobody's picked it up, something's probably off. And if it's not your synopsis, it may be your cover. And the idea of submitting it to Reedsy Discovery early enough, it means you do have that buffer space so that if it doesn't look like you're getting any attention from reviewers, you can go back and figure out what's gone wrong. And maybe it could be the synopsis or it could be the cover.
Yeah, so typically, if there's something wrong with the cover and, you can still push back your launch date, you can always cancel your submission and then resubmit later. We'll keep all the information and you'll be able to resubmit afterwards, basically.
Cool. Here's a hard question, Ken Barrett. My book is scheduled to be reviewed on March 26th. How do I know it will be, and if it isn't, do I get my money back?
So as we answered previously, so it is not guaranteed that you will get a review. We do our best, so you do get one, but it's not guaranteed. You can always cancel if you think that there's something that's a bit weird or wrong or whatever. So that's part of your submission dashboard, basically. But if it doesn't get reviewed, there might be, maybe there's some more work to be done regarding the cover, the synopsis, can even be the title. Anyway, can be or cannot be. Every book is different, obviously.
And if you would like to wait, you can push your launch date back a week or so to increase your chances of getting it reviewed. But yeah, if you cancel without a review, you get a refund.
Yeah, if you were one of the first authors to submit your book on Discovery, we had, as I said, the product was really successful since since we launched it. It's been really successful. So we had a lot of submissions. So if you push back a little, then you're increasing your chances of getting a review, basically.
Cool. Next one's not so much of a question as a comment. The user interface looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, you want to talk a bit about your thoughts about why you sort of put it together that way?
Oh, I don't know. We've been working on this for, I don't know, since we started Reedsy, right?
No, yeah, we had a very first version of this product that was part of our main Reedsy marketplace product, and then we realized that it was quite an ambitious one and couldn't stay, within our existing product and had to be a product on its own, basically. But yeah, the design of Discovery, yes, it lasted like for over a year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's designed way into the future as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Patricia asks, if you've joined Discovery, is there a limit to how many books you can submit?
Nope.
Nope, not at all.
There's no, but yeah, I think there's a sort of misconception that you sign up just the once and you can submit as many books as you want to, which if we kept it that way would have been a nightmare to handle because we just have one user putting on 1,000 books maybe. But yeah, every time you submit a new book, so even if it's in a series, they'll be treated in isolation.
Yeah, so you currently pay $50 per submission, and as we mentioned in the comment, there's currently a coupon code that you can use. If you type Hemingway at the just before basically putting in your payment details, then you will get $10 off.
Bam.
Cool. Kelly Brekenhoff asks, does anyone give advice for how to improve the synopsis? I've had a lot of good feedback already from others, but my book hasn't been picked up.
So you can work with a professional marketer for this, basically. So it's kind of a mix between like, what your editor would say and what a marketer would say, but it's in between. So here on Discovery, when we talk about synopsis, blurb, we're not talking about what you would submit to an agent. We're really talking about like a very marketing kind of a presentation of your book that will get more people to look into it. So I don't know what kind of synopsis Kelly's referring to here, but it's more marketing work than editorial here, basically. So you might want to work with a marketer. One thing you could potentially do a little bit is test different blurbs with ads and compare what kind of results you get, but that might be more complicated. But yeah, either work with a marketer or kind of like A/B test in different ways your synopsis.
Cool. Yeah, Kelly.
Blog sorry, I think we have some content on the blog as well about writing synopsis, so maybe we can link to that as well.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Kelly, if you just email me at martin@reedsy.com, just tell me a bit about the book. We'll be able to sort of send you links to some of the stuff we have on the blog, maybe recommend a few marketers. But cool, thank you for that one. Carol, reposting this question. Doesn't it look pretty bad if your book has been on Discovery since the beginning and it still hasn't been reviewed?
It's hard to say. It's on a case-by-case basis. Maybe you're writing in a genre that's a bit more niche than what most of our reviewers are interested in right now. You can take it down, of course. You can cancel your submission and get a refund. But it's on a case-by-case basis. It's hard to answer. It's hard to answer. But feel free to drop us an email. Matt, Martin, or myself. It's just our first name at Reedsy.com, and we'll be happy to take a look at it.
Thank you, Emmanuel and Matt, for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll catch you later. Bye.